everyone, and welcome. You know how in any language you learn, there are always those tricky word pairs, the ones that look and sound almost the same but mean something totally different? Well, today we're going to dive into one of the all-time classics in German, the difference between Behandlung and Verhandlung. So let me just ask you this. You mix up two similar sounding words. What's the worst that could happen, right? Maybe a little confusion, an awkward laugh. Well, as we're about to see, sometimes it can put you in a situation that's, a little more stressful than you were planning on. And the whole mystery really comes down to this one little detail. It's all about a single shared word ending that can lead you to two completely different places. It's a perfect example of how one tiny part of a word can just change everything. So let's meet our tricky twins. We're going to break down exactly how this one ending creates two totally distinct meanings. Okay, here they are, side by side, die Behandlung and die Verhandlung. I mean, you can see it right away. They look alike, they sound alike, they're both really common nouns, and they both have that Handlung ending. It is no wonder at all that people get these two mixed up. So, to untangle all this, we've got to look at what each one actually means. Let's start with the first one. First up, we've got die Behandlung. The easiest translation here is just treatment. And this can cover a lot of ground. It could be medical treatment you get from a doctor, sure, but it could also be the special treatment you give a guest, or even the technical treatment of a material. So a super common way you'd hear this is, die Behandlung war sehr gut, meaning the treatment was very good. You might say this after a great visit to the hospital, or, even after a really nice day at a spa. It's all about receiving care. Now, let's look at its twin, die Verhandlung. Okay, this is where things take a pretty sharp turn. This isn't about receiving care at all. This word is all about discussion, about debate. It translates to negotiation or even a court hearing. So now we're talking about contracts, legal stuff, business deals, a totally different vibe. So a sentence for this one might be, die Verhandlung dauert 2 Stunden. The negotiation lasts 2 hours. You can just feel the shift in the atmosphere, can't you? We are definitely not in a calm doctor's office anymore. This is a boardroom or a courtroom where people are actively hashing things out. Okay, so we know what they mean separately. Now let's put them to the stress test. Because with these two words, the context, and let's be honest, the stress level that comes with it is truly everything. And this phrase just hits the nail on the head. Same ending, very different stress levels. That's really the core emotional difference, isn't it? One is usually about care, about recovery. The other is often about conflict and trying to find a resolution. And this table just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? Behandlung usually happens somewhere like a hospital, and the whole point is that you're receiving care. But a Verhandlung, that happens at a negotiation table or in court, and the context is talking things out, often under a lot of pressure. You definitely don't want to mix those two up when you're booking an appointment. So how do you make sure you keep this straight forever? Let's get to the one simple rule that's going to lock this in for you. This is your ultimate German reminder. All right, here's the simplest way to remember the difference. A Behandlung, a treatment, is something you get. It's passive. It happens to you. But a Verhandlung, a negotiation, is something you take part in. It's active. You are a participant. If you can just remember that simple difference, getting something versus taking part in something, you'll never mix them up again. And that pretty much wraps this one up. Every language is just full of these fascinating little traps, isn't it? It kind of makes you wonder, what's the most confusing word pair that you've ever come across in your own language journey? It's a great little reminder that mastering a language is all about digging into these fascinating details. Thanks for joining me.